Hi, my name is Ryan and today we're taking these two long beef ribs and we're going to smoke them low and slow on a Weber kettle using the snake method. Using these Weber Briquettes, we're going to create a snake on the inside edge of the barbecue. Essentially what we want to do is to have a continuous row of briquettes, in fact a double row, and you have to make sure that all the briquettes are in contact with each other so that the heat can transfer from one briquette to the other over time. We will fast forward through this so I don't bore you. Once that's done, you need an additional row of briquettes over the top. With the snake complete, I've got about 10 briquettes in the chimney starter, which is plenty, and using a couple of Weber firelighters. It's all you need. We'll get those lit, leave that for about 15 minutes to thoroughly warm up whilst we go inside and get the ribs ready. I got these two great beef ribs from my independent local village butcher. If we have a closer look at these, you can see this thick layer of fat across the top. So using a sharp knife and taking great care not to cut your fingers, we gently want to cut away at this layer of fat, prising the fat back as we're sliding the knife underneath. We'll work our way down the fat on both of these pieces and then we'll come back in a minute. Now we've got that thick piece of fat off, we'll turn the rib over onto the bony side and there is this really thin, sinewy piece of fat that is very tough. It's like an old leather boot. So if you just get the knife under there, you can pinch the thin layer with your finger and thumb and then pull it right off. So I'll get those off and then we'll come right back. Now that's done, there's absolutely loads of meat on these with some fat marbling through them. All that's left now is to season these up, and for that we are using equal parts of garlic granules, along with some coarse ground black pepper and an equal part of salt. I have mixed all this into a small bowl and we will get this sprinkled all over on all sides of these ribs. Don't be afraid to put too much on, but please also remember that you can season to your own personal taste. Meanwhile, while we've been doing this inside, the coals have been getting nice and hot outside. Looking at these coals, they're really hot, so it's time to get them onto the end of the snake. As I've only used about 10 briquettes in the chimney starter, which is absolutely plenty for what we're wanting to do today, by the way, I am just using a pair of old barbecue tongs that I don't really use for cooking anymore to position each briquette one at a time at the end of the snake. Now that's done, this snake will give you around 9 to 12 hours of continuous low and slow cooking, which is the secret to mastering these long cooks of ribs and brisket. Once we've got the foil tray back in there to catch any drips and the cooking grate, we'll get the lid on and we'll let that warm up for about 130 degrees. So after about 10 or 15 minutes, we're ready to get the ribs on. Note that the air vents at the top and the bottom of the barbecue are fully open. As the cook progresses, the heat from the lit coals will slowly burn around the snake. And I like to use these smoking wood chips, so we'll soak them in some water and we'll put them on in about half an hour. After half an hour, we've drained the excess water that the wood chips have been soaking in, and we'll take a few of these and put them directly onto the lit coals. We'll get the barbecue closed back up and repeat this process throughout the cook. After about 4 hours, these ribs have got a really nice bark on, and I have probed them to around 65-70 degrees Celsius. The snake's also only burnt around a third of the way around. Now, we don't want these ribs to dry out anymore, so we'll take them off, give them a double wrap in foil and leave it for about another hour. After a total cooking time of about 5.5 hours, the ribs were probing without any resistance into around 95 degrees Celsius. So I took them off to rest, wrapped up in some towels to insulate them, but silly me, I forgot to record that part, so you'll just have to use your imagination. For the next part of the cook, I wanted a bigger cooking surface area and a higher temperature, so I broke up the snake and moved all the briquettes to one side of the barbecue, where we then cooked some sausages, some sweet corn, tender stem broccoli and some sliced courgettes, while the meat was resting inside. As a final step, we'll get the ribs unwrapped after they've been resting for nearly an hour. Very good. Ooh. Look at the juice coming out of there. Very nice. Very nice indeed. We'll tuck in and enjoy them. Thank you for watching.